Welcome, Earthlings! From the minds of Dylan Oltoft and Rob McNair, we bring you Laughing on a Prayer!
You shall podcast! Gandalf! Podcast, you fools! God's sakes, just give him a minute! Stop being a fucking pussy!
Hello there, everyone! I hope you've managed to decipher what today's episode theme is about, and if you haven't from that, you do not belong here.
No, or in any sort of form of society, honestly. You must have been living under a rock.
I genuinely would love to meet someone that has never heard of this series, because part of me would like to introduce someone to this for the first time
just
ever.
So we could beat them up.
Imagine popping your LOTR cherry. Imagine popping the LOTR cherry of someone.
Yeah.
Oh. Do you start them off with the full edition? Like the whole, 19 hours altogether? Or
Except extended edition.
yeah, what is that altogether? Like, it comes to like 3 hours,
me.
3,
Yeah.
6, 9... It's like 12 hours altogether?
It's something ridiculous, yeah. I think like each extended edition film is like 4 hours.
All of which is a massive advert for just New Zealand's tourism board.
But it is... I've watched the extended editions, and honestly, they just make the films just way more rounded, and they are totally worth it.
I don't know, was Sauron's mouth really much of an addition?
Well, I mean, that's like one bit. You cannot base the rest of the...
Could they have not taken out one of the 14 endings?
Well, yeah, no, sure.
Did we need to know that Sam went back and married that redhead? Did we need to know that?
I feel like your thing is, mate, you currently what you're doing is trying to trash, essentially, hypothetically, like the Mona Lisa.
That's the point.
It's art.
Oh,
it's art.
The thing is, we're never going to do a Hobbit episode, so this is the only horse I have to beat. Even if it is still alive.
Oh no, when we're angry enough, we will do a Hobbit episode, and we will trash the fuck out of it.
Fair enough. Listeners, as you've probably deciphered by now, and if not, please seek out a loved one. We are doing Lord of the Rings!
I mean, come on, mate, let's be honest. The people that listen to our podcast do not have loved ones.
Just like us.
Yeah, exactly.
We're doing Lord of the Rings, and yes.
Yes.
And I promise you, it is secret. It is safe.
That's half true.
There will be references out the ass, but we will keep the quotes to a minimum.
He says. He says. But we make no promises. We make no promises on this podcast, and you should know that. If you've been listening to us for any sort of amount of time, you must know that our word actually means very little.
Very true.
Yeah.
Let's kick this off, because I've got a fuck ton to get through. Let's start off with the questions. Rob, do you have one?
Yes, I absolutely do.
But what about second questions?
Oh, well, there will be a second question, but you have not already had.
I'll do my best to keep this to a minimum, guys. Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, here we go.
Ooh-ah.
Right. So, you have the four hobbits, essentially. You have Frodo, Sam,
Merry and
Pippin. Right, you have the four hobbits, right?
Okay. I have them.
Yes, you have them.
Okay.
You have them. Who are you going to take to the pub?
Oh, I can pick one as a drinking buddy.
Yes, you can pick one as a drinking buddy. Who are you going to take to the pub?
Definitely Pippin.
100%.
Okay, because, here, let me justify me. Frodo will spend the whole time either looking at his ring or just whining. A lot of people forget how much of a fucking whiner Frodo would be. Oh, this burden. Oh, I don't know, Sam. We're not going to make it to there and back. Oh, and Sam will not just shut up about potatoes the whole time we're there. It's like we'll be having a drink, we're having a mug. It's like, do you think this pub does some good taters? Like, shut the fuck up, Sam. Come on, shut the... Potatoes, shut the fuck up, Sam. And Merrin will be too busy singing for the King of Gondor, so he won't be available.
No, that's Pippin. Pippin sings for the
well, there you go then. Pippin will be very good at some pub jams when things start going on, so I know he can sing. Merrin will be too busy stealing the ball. No, that was fucking Pippin as well. What did Merrin do? He didn't steal...
He was in the big charge for Rohan. The big charge, you know, in the third film, the massive cavalry charge that the Rohirrim did. He was there.
For Rohan?
Yeah, he was there with...
Because I don't think there was a charge for Rohan. I think once they got...
Well, it was a massive
Wormtongue
Rohirrim charge in the third one, you know, the massive cavalry charge in the third film. How do you not know that?
Because in the third film, there was the Battle of Gondor, and then they all went to the Black Gate.
Yeah, but you know...
I'm trying to think of this battle for Rohan.
No, the Rohirrim made that massive cavalry charge.
Oh, do you mean at the start, and then Aragorn had to, like, decipher what happened to the hobbits?
No.
When they killed all the orcs?
No, they did the massive Rohirrim cavalry charge at the Battle for Gondor.
We're talking about the films, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Third film. When everything was going to shit, and then the Rohirrim turned up with all their horses, and they did their best of charge.
Oh, at Helms Deep?
No.
Oh, when Gandalf...
Well, also, yes, but no. In the third film, there's the big battle for Gondor, right? Everything's going to shit. And then suddenly the Rohirrim... is like...
Sorry, I fucking remembered. Yeah. Fuck him.
And he also stabbed the fucking... the Night Witch King. Not the Night.
The Witch King?
The Witch King in the back of the fucking thigh with his knife.
Yeah, but that bitch finished him off.
Yeah, I know, but he also helped.
He got an assist.
Yeah, exactly. He got an assist kill.
Plus 20.
Exactly.
Okay, definitely Pippin, because Pippin is... We both know Merry and Pippin, so Pippin is going to be... But first of all, we know he can sing, so when a few hours in, he's going to start singing the...
And they all like...
He knows the
dancing,
songs.
right?
He's going to be the first on the table to start doing some river dancing.
You can drink your fancy ales. You can drink them by the flagon. But the only proof of the brave and true comes from the green dragon.
Exactly. You know? I don't even mind getting the rounds because Pippin is going to be such a lad at the pub.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be absolute mad lad at the pub, probably.
So that's why I'm queuing Pippin.
Nice. Sweet. Also, he's Scottish, so... You know.
All right, Rob. You are one of the wraiths. You're one of the Dark Riders. Shadow Riders. I'm Nazgul. Sorry, thank you very much.
I am cold and dead inside, so yeah.
You're one of the Nazgul. You can choose to have a horse or a fell beast if you want, but you have all the knowledge of Lord of the Rings, so you know both of them turned out to be pretty fucking worthless.
Yeah.
How are you as a Nazgul? If you want, you can separate from the rest. That's what they did when they got the fell beast.
Yeah.
How are you going to try and find the One Ring?
Well, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to lay low. Because in the films at least,
please tell me you're not just going to wait out the war.
No, because in the films they all travel in a pack. They're like, this pack of hooded figures.
Not when they're on the Nazgul. Sorry, not when they're on the fell beast.
Well, it doesn't matter because they're really noticeable. But if I want to find the ring, you got to be sneaky. You got to make sure that you don't draw attention.
You think they can blend in? Do you? Giant hooded, fucking corrupted human kings.
Well, but that's the thing. Everyone's going to be paying attention to the fell beast riders and all the guys in the group. But then I'll be sneaky, and then I'll manage to be.
Wasn't there a moment when Frodo, when confronted with fell beast, literally held the ring out in front of it?
Yeah, I know, because he's a fucking idiot. But that's the thing. Frodo's a fucking idiot, right? Like, all right.
Well, yeah, like a crackhead corrupt him.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, he was the guy that gave money to the crackhead, and then they said that he was his friend. Here's the thing: you got to be sneaky, mate. You got to. It's sleight of hand. Something's going on over on one end of something, but then something else is going over, and that's how you get it.
Where in Middle Earth are you going to go while being sneaky? You got Gondor, Rohan, the Mines of Moria, Mordor.
100% the Dead Marshes, because that's where all the dead people are, and it's barren fucking wasteland. Lots of places to hide.
Are you on any sort of animal?
No, you got to be on foot.
So you're just skulking around
Yeah, exactly.
dead marshes.
Yeah, exactly.
Some dipshit in a cloak just hobbling
Yeah,
around.
exactly, mate.
Okay.
Exactly, mate.
Okay.
Exactly. I'm gonna be skulking around, and they're gonna be like, "No way, there's a fucking like, what even is that thing?" And then I'll be.
Do you at least have the cloak that makes you look like a rock or something?
I think that's an elven cloak. That
I
makes you
know,
look like a
but
rock.
what the fuck? They're gonna see some shit in the distance, fucking billowing around.
No, but I'm gonna be sneaky. I'm gonna be sneaky. I'm gonna crawl like on the ground and through the dead marshes because I'm already basically dead. So it's fine for me, right? And then
And you're gonna arrive here when
exactly.
you know Frodo will be here.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm gonna pop out of the water. I'm gonna fucking grab him and I'm gonna get the ring, and it's gonna be amazing.
Okay, you've got the ring. Are you gonna give it back to Sauron?
I think so because I think that was their mission, wasn't it?
Yeah, but remember the ring is very corrupting.
Yeah, it is very corrupting. Well, I mean, if it's me, most probably not. Okay.
Yeah, but the ring. Remember, you're a man, so the ring will betray you.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe I'll just try and get a quick fix of the ring.
But then again, hang on. Sorry, if you're one of the Nazgul, that means you must be a human king.
Yeah, I'm one of the.
But then
human
again,
kings,
if I remember Gandalf saying, if the Nazgul's sword had pierced his heart, he would have become. So anyone could be a Nazgul.
It was a Morgul blade that pierced it, which is like cursed with dark magic, I believe.
Which would have turned Frodo into one of them. I would have loved that, all those tall guys, and then there's a Hobbit Nazgul. Just to the left of them.
It's like
he does admin.
It's like it's like fucking D&D. It's like, you adopt that little dwarf NPC or some shit. I was like, oh yeah, you can come along, mate. You can come join the cult.
All the other Nazgul are like, he's really ruining our image, guys. We're like really imposing badass, and there's a little midget fucking Nazgul on the end.
I mean, that is the thing. They do look cool as fuck, though, to be fair.
Granted, but I don't know how they see. Like when Frodo puts on the ring, you get that whispery white where you get to fucking like see them how they apparently look and all that. So obviously, all the rings that were sent out.
It's the ring that makes you see what they.
Well, that's the thing. All the human kings were corrupted. All the rings that went to
they were men. They were men. They used to be humans.
That's what I mean. All the human kings were corrupted by Sauron. All the rings, because of the special rings they got, all the rings that went to the dwarfs and the elves, I guess, were fine. I guess the rings the humans had were Windows XP, so Sauron was able to hack them.
I think that was the thing, though, wasn't it? Is that humans are like more.
All those rings went out to all of those races. No, not a scam. Promise.
I think that was the thing, though, wasn't it? It was that humans more corruptible, therefore.
That's why Frodo could bear the ring, because hobbits apparently aren't ambitious because they smoke pipeweed all day.
But it was Sauron that made the ring, and the ring corrupts power. And obviously, like you said, hobbits don't really seek power or are particularly powerful. Therefore, like the sort of corruptible power of the ring isn't exactly like something that affects them hugely.
Yeah.
I mean, it does eventually, but nothing like compared. I mean, like Isildur.
It's slowly corrupted.
Yeah,
it's like a fungus, like a mold eventually.
Yeah, it's like Isildur, right? He fucking cut off Sauron's finger, had the ring for 20 minutes?
It wasn't Isildur. It was Aragorn's dad or great-grandfather.
Isildur, that was the guy's name.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Elrond, sorry.
Yeah.
Because he yelled at Isildur to throw it into the fire.
Isildur! Yeah, exactly.
Which makes me think, why didn't he just, as he was about to run past him with the ring, just push him in? Oh no, he slipped!
Yeah. Oh no!
I guess all the evil in the world is dead now, guys. Yeah, sorry about your fucking king.
And then the thing is, he'd just walk out of the mountain and be like, guys, look, there's been a damn shame that has happened. Nasty business. But the point is...
I'm just saying, I would partly blame Elrond. No, don't let him walk past you. Stab the motherfucker and take the ring and throw it.
Or at least try and fight him.
It was on that day I saw the hearts of men. Stop being poetic, you asshole.
I saw the hearts of men. Yeah, you did. And you stood by and did fuck all, mate.
You Fucking dick.
But yeah,
you don't get to judge us.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's sealed. Is like he cut the finger off Sauron, right?
Yeah.
What did it take him? Like, what, 20 minutes to walk up to Mountain 2? But even then, he was corrupted. You're like, come on, buddy. Like, this is something that you gotta fucking get rid of.
Toss it into the fire. Destroy it. And he turns back like, let's make a pro and cons list.
And it was like, well, I actually have some thoughts on this. But he didn't even do that. He just went, no.
Again, I'm someone that's read the books.
I've read the books as well.
I've read the Silmarillion and I've read...
haven't read the Silmarillion. I've read the Lord of the Rings books. Those, I'm going to be honest, man, those are not easy books to read.
Oh, what is it?
Bombadil.
Oh. Today, that would be a segment that would get your book rejected.
Yeah.
A publisher would look at that and say, what's this got to do with anything? And he'd fucking throw the book out the window.
And... I mean, I've read the Lord of the Rings, but they're hard books to read. I mean,
well, the print's very small, but
yeah, but like even the language in the Lord of the Rings books.
To be
the
fair
way it's
to
written is
J.R.R. Tolkien, like what was he like 1920s? Because he based Sam after a child in the First World War, so it must have been like the 20s and 30s that he made.
Yeah, it's something like that. I think he might even he fought in the First World War. Tolkien fought in the First World War.
Well, yeah, Sam's an allegory for a farm boy that was sent to the war.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. But the language and the way that the Lord of the Rings books are written, it's not modern language by any means.
Can we quickly affirm Sam is the hero of Lord of the Rings, not Frodo?
Oh yeah, and Tolkien always said this, that Sam was the hero, for sure.
Sam carried Frodo, and then at the end, literally, like Sam is the allegory for the farm boy. Frodo's just a fucking...
I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you. Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Even though Sam did nick the ring at one point.
According to Frodo, you know.
Well, obviously, when you got like penetrated by Shelob and all that.
Yeah, but
which Shadow of Mordor 2 was confirmed was actually could be a woman.
Yeah,
you've heard about that. The game Shadow of Mordor 2. Shelob can be a woman. The big angry spider. Yeah, she was a woman all along.
Yeah, and do you know what's interesting? It's also the Balrog. The Balrog.
Yeah,
that giant fucking demon. In the Lord of the Rings, that thing is only about like 6 feet tall. It's about the size of a person.
Well, yeah, that's because it's the same race as Gandalf and Saruman.
But it's a demon. And I was like, but in the film, like making it, sort of 20 feet tall is way better, way more. I suppose maybe it's spectacle. I don't know, but I think the Balrog in the film is definitely better.
Well, that was the reason why Saruman, when he died, he didn't come back. Do you remember in the third film when Gandalf said, "You have no more power," and then Saruman's staff exploded?
Yeah.
Gandalf literally did that because he was able to expel him from the group of the 7 wizards. Obviously, there was him, Saruman, Radagast, and some others.
There's different things, isn't there?
But because Gandalf stayed on the course of the wizards, when he was brought back, he then became the leader and had the authority to expel Saruman. So Saruman's there, he's got no power, he's got his staff, and then Gandalf was like, "You're fucking out of the group, mate." His staff exploded. Gandalf became the OG because he didn't divert from his task. But Saruman became corrupted. Just like the Balrog, which again is the same race. Again, the Silmarillion, guys, doesn't make sense. I've read it. I understand Melkor. I understand Saruman. I understand the races. I understand the eagles and all that. I understand. It doesn't make sense. Please accept that.
It's also
I love it all, but it does not make sense.
There's also like different levels because you had Gandalf the Grey and Radagast the Brown and things like that. There's sort of like different levels of what sort of wizard you were.
And then the elven.
And then the elven, that is fucking nuts, wasn't it?
Right, so that's what you do as a Nazgul.
Yeah.
Cool, what you got for me?
Yeah, okay.
There's a lot to talk about. Let's get through the questions quick.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so you are I guess like just an average fucking dude.
That's the best compliment I've ever been given.
Okay. Okay, so you're like an average just fucking dude, right? And you are conscripted into either the Rohirrim or the Minister of Guardsmen.
What?
You know, the Minister of, you know, the Minister of Soldiers, you know, those guys. Minister of those guys.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And you have a choice between being a part of the Battle of Helm's Deep or the Battle of Minas Tirith or the Battle of Penlanna Fields, which is the, you know, the sort of last...
In the Battle of Helm's Deep, am I on the ramparts firing arrows?
You're an average pleb.
That's what I'm asking. Am I stationed on the ramparts dealing with the ladders coming up? Or am I, like, elsewhere?
Well, I mean, the chances are you're going to get in some pretty hot shit.
Basically, what I'm asking is, am I in a place at the start of the battle where I might live long enough for Gandalf to save my ass?
I mean, it doesn't really matter, though, does it?
Because if I'm stationed right on the rampart and the first ladder comes up and an orc jumps out and just bites my neck out...
Okay, fine. You're either on the front side of Helm's Deep or you're on the front side of Minas Tirith. Which battle are you going to be a part of, mate?
Odds are not in my favour. And this is at the start of the battle, right? Of each battle. This is at the start of it.
I mean, you're going to see action.
I'm right on the front at the start of each battle.
Yeah, you're going to see action.
I'm going to die. Sure. Fuck you, see action. I'm going to die. I won't live long enough for the orc to blow up the fucking drain pipe.
But at least in Minas Tirith, Gandalf is already there.
So what? He's shining his fucking staff doing...
No, he's fighting, like, hand to hand.
Oh, fuck it.
Isn't he?
Okay.
He's like...
It's not like he's...
like, Peregrine, forward back to the... something... I can't remember what he says, actually.
You know what? I'd rather have Saruman, because at least in the films, they showed he could at least summon lightning to do some shit.
You'd rather have... Wait, what battle are you talking about?
I'm just saying, as a wizard, Saruman has summoned lightning, and what's Gandalf really done?
Yeah, which battle are you talking about?
Remember when they were going through the winter mountain, Saruman...
Yeah, no, I'm talking about would you rather be at Helm's Deep or at Minas Tirith?
I guess I'm talking about Minas Tirith because you mentioned Gandalf being there, but he's not really a good wizard.
Yeah, no, but he fights and shit. He's fighting on the front lines. You don't remember that?
How well?
Pretty well.
You're not a fucking man.
Yeah, I know, but he's like magic. He fights pretty well. He's got good choreography. He like kills like
good choreography.
3 orcs. And he's on a horse.
Oh, good for him. Do I get a horse?
Shadowfax.
Do I get a horse?
No, you're a pleb.
Yes, I don't give a fuck about his horse.
You get a shield and a spear.
Oh, Christ.
Maybe a sword.
Can I get 2 shields so I can live long enough to win?
Yeah, you've got your mates next to you that also have... They fight pretty well because they're like really well trained.
How well have I been trained?
Well, probably the same amount as everyone else has been trained. They're pretty well trained.
Oh, shit. Wait, isn't this the battle with the Nazgul there as well? Or...
Yes.
Shit, Felby's is gonna eat me.
Well, not necessarily. You could, you know, if you want to fight Helm's Deep, you can fight Helm's Deep.
Oh, great! Where it's what, if memory serves, like 11,000 to 500 or something, wasn't it?
I believe it was 10,000.
10,000 to
10,000 strong.
Oh,
strong.
And I'm
their armor is thick and their shields broad.
And I'm a virile 20-something male, so they're going to put me on.
You're kind of like a Viking, so you know you probably.
Yeah, they're going to put me on the front line, and the thing is, I don't have the plot armor of Gimli, who can jump into a pile of orcs and just fucking fight.
No, but
I'm going to die.
But which battle would you rather? I'm not saying that there's a right or wrong or even a mediocrely good answer. I'm just saying, like, which one would you want to be?
I guess Minas Tirith, because I don't want to die at night in the mud. I want it to be the middle of the day. I'm around a wizard that's, I guess, yelling shit. And I guess it's...
No, he's definitely yelling shit.
Okay.
Also, he's yelling shit at you to, no matter what's come through those doors, you will hold your ground. He's I didn't say he was giving, sort of like confidence boosters.
I just don't want to die at night in the mud by a snarling prick. So I'm going to go the Ministry, because either way I'm going to die, so I think Ministry is the best death.
the easier way to go.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Did not give you any sort of even mediocrely potentially good answer there, but
all right then.
We've got Ministereth for Dylan. That's where he chooses to die.
All right then. Okay, here's here's one. You are Sauron. You are the eye on the fucking tower.
I'm the eye.
It's the bit where Aragorn is like trying to distract you and all that shit. I imagine you can communicate to your forces. Aragorn is trying to distract you while Frodo's sneaking up your rectum like Ant-Man up Thanos'.
Yes.
What do you want to tell them? Because to be honest, I would wager even if Sauron had spotted Frodo, he wouldn't have been able to communicate to his armies, run up the mountain quick enough.
So I'm Sauron, the big eye on the tower.
Yeah, communicate your orders. It's the final battle where you're being distracted.
Who am I communicating my orders to?
Orcs, armies, everyone. Your armies that are there fighting Aragorn.
Okay, well, I actually have some thoughts upon this.
Okay.
First of all, I'm not going to send my army out of my massive fucking gate, right? This big fucking ass gate that's like 100 feet tall. I'm not going to fucking send my armies out and let them fight. No, I'm going to stay inside my gate.
I think no one's coming for you.
What? What do you mean?
Well, no one's coming to attack you personally. Okay, so what are you going to do with all your armies in your gate? Frodo's still climbing up your back passage.
Well, I'm going to send them after him, aren't I? I'm not going to send them out to fight loads of people that I know is blocked by a giant gate. I'm going to send my armies to go and find the little fucking midget that's...
Do you think they'll reach him in time? Because they've got to then climb that mountain.
Yeah, but I've got like thousands of them.
Yeah, but even 1,000 people climbing the mountain all at once, they've still got to eventually reach it.
What I might even have done is... maybe over the 1,000 years or so that I've had to chill in my tower, maybe say, hey, look, guys, you know that like one little kind of hole that people have access to Mount Doom? Maybe block that shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I won't lie. Maybe
I'm not saying that the fucking overlookers of the Death Star were fucking idiots. But those guys were fucking idiots.
Why did that pathway need to exist ever again?
It's like, maybe there was ventilation. But wait, it's a volcano, so there's ventilation out the top.
You're a fiery eye. Who gives a fuck about ventilation?
Yeah, exactly. Block up the fucking door, mate.
Okay.
That's what I would have probably done before. But also, it's like, okay, so there's this big army that's coming. Well, I've got this massive fucking ass, big, beautiful wall. Nobody is going to get through the wall. And so, therefore, I can send my guards and stuff. Maybe, now hear me out. Maybe even place guards outside the entrance to the volcano.
That sounds boring. For them.
Well, yeah, no, probably for them, but at least it'll stop me from dying. Do you know what I mean? Sauron, mate, look, the thing is...
Well, the thing is, you have no idea who or where has the ring.
No idea. I saw you did
Christ.
that. I saw you did that.
You have no... Isn't that the whole point of why Gandalf sent them? Sauron would never... Sauron would expect a massive army to try and overcome him, not two little dipshits.
Exactly, and that is exactly the point. He did what I expected him to do, and therefore that is something unexpected, and that's where I will.
Okay, so you've stopped Frodo in his tracks with the guards. You still got to conquer the rest of Middle Earth, and it seems like man and elves are united and again. You didn't do so well last time, did you?
But I could chill behind my wall, and maybe I'll be like, you know what? Maybe I'm just going to be okay here.
He's just going to rule Mordor.
Let us just agree to disagree.
Start up an industry.
Yeah, exactly. I won't piss you off if you don't piss me off. Maybe we could come.
So you'd be a Sauron that appeases for peace.
Maybe we could make a deal.
An aggression pact.
Yeah, exactly.
All right then. What you got for me?
Yeah. Okay.
Last questions.
This is my last question for you, isn't it?
Yep. You asked me two times.
Yeah. All right. So, if there is one place in Middle Earth that you would renovate to make better, what would it be, and how would you renovate
Gondor. Okay.
And how would you renovate it to make it better?
Firstly, I would put it up so that my entire fucking kingdom wasn't a massive swirly fucking regime. So if siege equipment ever fucking came to smash rocks on us, we'd actually have some fucking defences for it. You know, maybe build some gates and all that sort of thing. I wouldn't just have a fucking marble madness fucking land, for one.
Right, okay. So you're going to renovate Gondor.
The tree is fine. The tree can stay where it is. You know, instead of the whole fucking world looking like a fucking that green and yellow ice cream you get from a Mr. Whippy ice cream truck, I'm instead going to branch it out.
You mean mint and banana?
Is that what that always was?
With
the red in the middle? Anyway.
That sounds like strawberry.
I think it was raspberry. Anyway.
What's it?
I'm going to make it so that they're branched out, so that buildings and that are protected from the mountains and all that. Firstly, walls are going to be higher. Listen to this. Walls are going to be higher than the houses. It's not going to be wall, houses, wall, houses, wall. No, the walls just going to keep going up, so that none of the fucking houses.
Well, like Game of Thrones.
Maybe I'm not just gonna have.
No, I'm trying to picture your vision.
Yeah.
Because
the original Gondor, it looked lovely, but it was not made to be sieged because everything's on display. It's a kilt with its fucking skirt held up.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make it so that we're actually prepared for a siege.
You make it more practical.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a fucking swirly fucking bullshit. And also, at the end of our capital, we're not going to have a little ledge for someone to just jump off.
Why not?
I feel that's somewhat unproductive for the rest of the guards' sort of morale. It's like, I know things are bad. If you ever want to, end it all, there's a big ledge at the end.
Commit, self forever sleep.
So we're gonna maybe barricade that off so that when
also the poor bastards that have to witness the end result of jumping off that thing.
Exactly. So Denethor is gonna just reach some barricades. Guards can stomp out the fire, and him and not Boromir, fucking Faramir?
Faramir.
Him and Faramir can be like, oh, sorry about that. Nah, it's alright. They can have a drink together. So everything's fine. So he didn't...
Faramir lives, though, don't he?
Exactly. And Denethor would have, if maybe someone put out the fire. So...
I feel like jumping off the edge might have had a slight component to his passing.
Exactly. So
I'm not a scientist.
We don't let him jump off and all that sort of thing. And basically, when you think about the logistics, he ran for a long while to get to that edge while on fire.
Did no one teach him about stop, drop, and roll?
The guy worked on his cardio. We could have used him in the battle coming ahead.
Yeah,
he was a trooper. So I'd make it. So basically, I will build a wall around Gondor, and Rohan will pay for it.
Where was Gondor?
Yeah.
I
feel bad for those pyre guys. So what happens if one guy accidentally knocks an elbow from the fire and oh shit, it's lit?
Yes. Oh, for fuck's sake, Dave!
And all the others then get lit, and then then the king of Rohan's like, this better not be a prank pyre.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be like, for fuck's sake, Dave, what are you doing, mate? Come on, Dave. Were you drinking? Have you been drinking, mate? Honestly, fucking be professional.
But that brings me into my final question for you.
Yeah.
Rob, you are one of the Pyre Watchmen in between Rohan and Gondor.
Yeah.
Let's say you're in the middle.
Yeah.
You're waiting for one signal from the other.
Yeah.
What do you do to pass the time?
Honestly,
That's your life.
honestly, I think I'm going to do what most sort of soldiers probably do. Is I probably
Wank?
I mean, I was going to say drink and then wank.
Like, you've got maybe one other person with you, and
You've
God
probably
help
got
you if you
one
can't
other
stand
dude
them.
with you. Yeah, it's like again, like if they fucking can stand. So I'd probably drink first, then definitely wank, obviously, because like you drink to numb the boredom, and then you wank to release the frustration, right? Those are the two things that you'd probably do. But also, what I most probably do is that I mean, so I'm just trying to think through the scene. Is the fact they're in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like
Exactly.
It's like they're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
In between mountains and shit.
Right. Now, here's the fucking thing. I'm not gay. But I reckon if I got lonely enough,
You
A
would
man-
turn to a nearby farm and
a man. No, I reckon if I got lonely enough, a man might, get bored enough that he might try some shit. If he's drunk enough and he's horny enough, he might try some shit.
I wonder who's supplying you with this booze.
I'm
I'm sure they're given supplies.
I hope that they're given supplies, and there's
instant noodles. And
yeah,
all.
and I'm also hoping that maybe there's a rotation process. Maybe that you're not just the only two guys manning the thing. Maybe there's like a rotation process. It's like
What if it's like a generational thing? You eventually have to father a son who has to take your place and guard the
Well,
pyre.
that sounds impractical. I assume that practically it would be like you have to be up there for like 2 weeks, and then there's a rotation, then another two guys go up there for 2 weeks, and then there's rotation.
No, that's your life forever. What are you going to do?
That's my life forever. Well, you don't know that that's the life forever.
I'm saying it is for the question.
Fine. Well, then I'm going to get... Well, fine. Then I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to...
Gay sex.
I'm going to, get drunk, wank, and then maybe do some gay shit.
Occasionally, will you keep an eye out to see if one of the pyres is lit?
Well, yeah, because that's going to be the most exciting fucking day of my life. The moment I see someone catch fire, I'll be like, holy fuck, today's the day.
How do you know when to put it out? Because obviously you light the fire, the thing next to you lights the fire. How do you know when they've received the message and you can put it out?
It doesn't matter. I'm going to be too excited. I'm going to be like that, the starfish in Finding Nemo.
Today is the day!
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be too excited to set that shit on fire. I don't really care when I put it out. I'm like, this is what my life is dedicated to.
And it only happens once.
And it only happens once.
That's going to be the highlight of your life. How do you carry on from that day onwards, knowing it may never happen again?
I don't. I kill myself. Look at the mountains that those things are on top. I could jump off that shit and it'd be fucking great.
Oh,
I could jump off that shit and it'd be fucking great. There we go. That's what I'd fucking do.
Fair enough. Honestly, I'm not sure I'd do any different in your place.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Play? I'm a spy for fucking 20 years. No,
I
I'm probably
spied
just
Michael eyes something beginning with penis like that.
Right, Rob.
Yeah.
Moving on for the questions. This may be a very controversial question.
Yeah.
Which out of the trilogy is your favourite film?
Two Towers, mate. Two
Ooh,
Towers, 110%.
why?
Fucking Two Towers, 110%. Well, the first main reason is the fact that the pacing of the Two Towers, as far as filmmaking goes, is by far the best.
Right.
There are parts in the Fellowship and there are parts in Return of the King where it kind of gets a bit slow, and it's sort of like, okay, I'm sort of like going through. Whereas Two Towers, like every scene is well paced, and everything I go through it's like go on to this bit. Okay, you watch it, you go through the next bit.
Right.
Great. And there's never a dull moment, which is what I really like. Helms Deep, goes without saying, fantastic battle scene, incredible visual effects, especially for the time. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
And the bit with the trees take out Saruman.
Yep. Absolutely fantastic. Visually incredible. And there's also a reason that they do it. And just the visuals.
I do like that one scene when the water's been released and there's that one tree that's on fire that leans down and puts himself out.
Yeah. Fantastic visual. And it's memorable. It's very memorable. It's also it comes to the point where the films are long, but you have the Fellowship and then you have Two Towers, and that is when you really start, I think, to connect with the characters. That's when, and this might just be a personal thing for me. I think maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But in the Two Towers, that was when I really started to actually care about the characters.
Any in particular?
Fellowship, well, Legolas and Gimli, that.
Their friendship buddy.
Originally they were just side characters, and yes, Legolas, basically all his lines are kind of exposition. Basically Legolas's lines are pretty much all exposition, really. But I actually started to kind of care about those guys in the second film.
After all, they took the hobbits to Isengard.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, they didn't. Legolas saw Orcs taking the hobbits to Isengard, which they never actually managed to accomplish. But I actually started to care about the characters really in the second film, and it's one of those films that look. I mean, I think pretty much all of the Lord of the Rings films really it's one of those films where you actually, when you watch it, and you can actually sort of think, oh yeah, this film is actually. It is a masterpiece. Like it really is something special. And the second film really affirmed that thought to me. So for me, Two Towers is my favourite film. Yeah.
That's fair. I personally I choose Fellowship of the Ring. It's interesting that neither one of us chooses Return of the King. But the reason, I think, because Fellowship of the Ring has tremendous world building.
Yes.
Obviously there's the narration at the start, which can seem a little bit cliche, but from that point onwards, with the Shire, the old Rivendell, the Mines of Moria, the stuff, you really feel like they're not just going from scene to scene, that they're really traversing a whole world. Like they're literally traveling over days. Like that's the thing, they're not going from scene to scene, they're traveling. And I really kind of personally appreciate the idea that you get much more of a journey from the Fellowship, because they build up in the Shire the nice life Frodo has, and then he's thrust out of that by coming across the ring and all that. And obviously he's onto this journey. Obviously there's the threat of the Nazgul and the reality of the danger they're in. And again, it's all about the world building, the Nazgul that's been travelling from all these things. Gandalf is telling them about all these things that are happening from other places that are coming towards them, and they slowly do happen. Then they're in the forest when the Orcs are attacking and they escape. And then obviously one of my favourite characters of all, which is Sean Bean's character, Boromir, who, the way he dies is one of my favourite character deaths in all of the whole series, to be honest.
I mean, in all film history, it's a famous.
And I think that's why Lord of the Rings as a series carried on as well as it did going forward, because Fellowship did such amazing world building that when you watch Fellowship of the Ring, you didn't need to be told anything. You were able to instantly pick up from where the film left off, because it had established everything so well.
And you were shown it.
Yeah.
As well.
You were shown everything, and it took you from highs and lows, like the Prancing Pony, the Shire, to when the Nazgul first attacked, to when Aragorn faced them, the Rivendell, to when they were travelling again, the Mines of Moria, they were attacked, but then it went to the fucking Balrog, and like you were taken to highs and lows. Again, sorry, I missed that out. Gandalf with Saruman, it went from high, low, high, low, high, low, and we managed to establish like 2 continents within a film, and it didn't seem distracting at all.
Yeah.
I really think that was tremendous world building.
For sure. For sure, 100%.
That's why it's my favourite, because I can get sucked into that world within like 5 minutes.
It draws you in. It draws you in so much. And I think what's also what I really like about the Fellowship of the Ring is that I think maybe it was to do with the sort of spirit of the times, is that the kind of idea fantasy is kind of light-hearted and stuff, but there's real threat and sort of menace in that film, like the Nazgul.
Yeah.
And like you feel like, even like, like with Gandalf, you think that he's the sort of old white wizard and stuff like that, but then you realise that he's actually sort of out of his depth as well.
He was
and
afraid.
So you really get the suspense in that film.
When he fucked off for like, I think it was like maybe 20 years or something.
Yeah,
like,
well,
he did all that research.
I mean, in the book, they hang out. In the book, they hang out with Bombadil for like a month. Merry is part of their group when they first set out, and they hang out with Bombadil for like a month, which is like, if you haven't seen the film, it's kind of a bit odd. But I feel like the Fellowship really, like you said, it really builds the world, and it does it so well. And the way I keep going on about the pacing, but
that's exactly the point.
Yeah, the level that it does it at is it's just perfect. In my opinion,
if they were always at a high, that's the thing. The world itself doesn't give a shit. Like, the world, it makes you feel like the world carries on regardless of what's happening to the main characters. Like when they get attacked by the squid, all these different challenges they came across, sort of thing. It seemed like the world carried on even while this was happening, and you got that impression from every little terrain they went to. Like, again, Mines of Moria, they went through the snow and everything. Like, you felt like this was a world that was functioning with the characters within it, rather than the world functioning around the characters.
Yeah,
like the characters were these pieces on a chessboard.
That's what Gandalf says, isn't it? The board is set and the pieces are moving.
Exactly.
That's what he says. But for sure,
I like the Two Towers, but again, as much, and again, I can just sit down and put on the Two Towers, and I know exactly what's going on. But again, it's the Fellowship that draws me into why I fell in love with this series to begin with.
It's the discovery.
Maybe it's a bit more nostalgia because that was the first one of the film, but it's the film that draws me in the most.
It's the discovery as well.
Yeah.
Especially,
and sometimes I notice things that I hadn't before, like things within a scene that I hadn't paid attention to.
Yeah,
or something.
And also what I do like about it is that the beginning of the film is based around just like hobbits being hobbits, right? And so you see what their average life was like, and then they're thrown into this just mad world of orcs and Nazgul.
The thing is, hobbits do live longer than men, don't they? Like Frodo, when he took the thing, was like 57 or something, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
and it was Bilbo was approaching his 111th birthday.
11th, yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I think is kind of what I like about it, is that you see hobbits being hobbits, and that's what their lives are like. And then you see them, like Sam, Frodo, Merry, and Pippin, being thrown into this crazy world. And then you sort of see that these are like, it's not like the average thing is, there's this hero. It's like, no, these are like average sort of people that were living their lives. They're like drinking beer and smoking pipe weed. And,
I wonder why they're not ambitious.
Yeah, exactly. And then they go and fight and commit acts of bravery, which again, maybe that links to, Tolkien's whole idea about the First World War, is that you have these, supposedly insignificant characters that then can commit amazing acts of bravery.
Well, you and I both know, being history scholars, how rampant the campaigning for the conscription for the First World War army was.
Sure.
Again, Sam himself was an allegory for a farm boy in the English countryside,
as it was,
being thrust into a trench in France, which obviously was Mordor and all that sort of thing.
Mordor and Isengard as well, the industry of violence.
Well, that's because that was the reason the whole World War started, was because they had all these new machines the machine guns and industry and tanks, all these new shit that they wanted to use that no one had ever seen before.
I mean, it didn't have tanks at the beginning, but it was very much.
First of all, it had tanks, didn't they?
Yeah, it did, but not until 16. It didn't have tanks until the beginning, but it very much is that. It very much is a metaphor for that. For supposed insignificant people committing amazing acts of bravery in the most terrible of circumstances, and you can definitely see that, like with Isengard, because that was like a metaphor for the industry.
Oh yeah, the Shire really looks like the English countryside.
Yeah,
like, so much,
and it's supposed to. It really
even
is.
though I think was the whole thing shot in New Zealand?
I believe it was, yeah. I believe the whole thing was shot in New Zealand, yeah, for sure. Because New Zealand's got that just crazy landscape.
You just know there are probably the same way there are like Harry Potter tours for all their scenes and all that. In New Zealand, if you ever went on holiday there would be a Lord of the Rings something like.
Oh, there is
points. This is where this scene was shot and all that sort of thing.
You can visit Hobbiton. It's a place you can go there. And it's also called like Helms Deep, because they had this really clever sort of CGI versus model kind of thing. Like Helms Deep is a massive model, and then they managed to CGI stuff over it.
I know. If you could pick a place in Middle Earth to live, where would you go?
Oh, mate, fucking Shire for sure.
I've had this talk with my partner, and she would eventually love to retire to the countryside. But personally, I love a city. A part of me thinks maybe Gondor, Rohan. I kind of I think the countryside again, like in the film Hot Fuzz, where you walk down the street and every fucking person knows your name. You walk in the store. Oh, I see you got a flat tire on your fucking bike this morning. It's like, how the... Like, that sort of shit really gets under my skin.
Ireland, yeah. I mean...
And if I lived in the Shire, a community of 40 people where everyone knows me, I would hate that.
Oh, would you really?
I really would. I don't want anyone around me to know shit about me unless I know they do.
Yeah. I mean, you grew up in, like, Plymouth.
Yeah, cities.
And I grew up in the middle of fucking nowhere, so maybe it's something to do with that.
I don't know, you don't get creeped out the idea of a really close-knit community knowing, like, even, like, again, like Hot Fuzz, personal details about you?
Creeps out. Oh. I wouldn't say creeps out.
Like that old saying, you catch a cold and it's everyone's cold.
Yeah.
That shit to me
maybe
is like...
I think it's made to do with I don't know. I think it's made to do with like a city and stuff. Just too busy. It's too many people.
Oh, the McNabs baked a pie this morning. It went cold rather quickly.
Yeah, we're Scottish. We're Scottish, not Irish.
Just saying, like country people.
Yeah, but I feel. I mean, that's the thing though. Is that like I grew up in a sort of community where everyone did know everyone else. So I guess to me it's normal.
So you trade a lack of so a place where there's no violence, but no privacy.
I don't want to say violence, but
that's the thing. There's no wars in the Shire, but everyone knows everything about you, as opposed to Gondor, where there may be political or whatever, but you get to be an individual.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I think it's more to do with the fact that if you grow up in a city, there's more people that potentially you could have like issues with. Whereas if you grow up in a small community, because it's more close knit, maybe you don't have that many problems.
I suppose, again, because everyone knows each other, so no one's going to try anything. But again, that would just creep me out. Like, it's like the idea of like people that oppose government surveillance. Well, if you've got nothing to hide, you should have no problem with it. Like, you're entitled to your fucking privacy.
Well, exactly. That was the Nazi thing. If you've got nothing to hide, you got nothing to fear. Like, no, that's not.
That's the Shire.
Well, no, it isn't.
Because all these fucking people know everything
no, it's
about
not.
you.
It's nothing about... No, it isn't. That's nothing to do with the Shire. It's like a close... knit community, but it's nothing to do with surveilling people,
That's the thing.
is it?
You don't need cameras because your neighbours are surveilling you. Everyone knows everything about you from the moment you set foot outside your door.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you're sort of under scrutiny, does it?
Oh, you know what like neighbourly gossip is like.
Well, I mean, maybe
especially in a bored farming community.
Well, no, it's not like that. Maybe in a city it might be, but it's not like that in the rural area.
Well, everyone keeps themselves, do they?
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of it's
would have loved the
lifestyles,
Shire with
isn't it?
guns, like in the actual English countryside. Oh, Mr. Frodo, everyone in the mothers is pecking round here.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, pretty much everyone does have a gun.
Frodo facing Gollum with a fucking air rifle.
Well, I mean, pretty much everyone is strapped in the rural community.
Both with Colt Dragoons in the race. Don't you move your fucking crackhead face there, Gollum. Oh, fucking blow your fucking head off, I will.
So, mate, cute straps will get clapped.
I now want to see Sam and Frodo both pack in, taking on Mordor. Like John Wick, going to Orc strongholds and John Wick style fucking killing them.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Like, instead of having a sword, he just pulls out like a fucking...
That being said, but could you imagine that, like in like the Hostel or shit like that? Sam and Frodo with like John Wick styling, taking out Orc strongholds and making their way to Mordor.
So like in like Fellowship when they do like the old switcheroo with like the fake pillows in the beds. Can you imagine that? It's like the Nazgul are raising up their swords, they just whip it out and it's like
Were there crossbows in Middle Earth? I'm trying to think now. They obviously have bows.
Yeah. No, there were.
Because that's got to be the
Helm's Deep. Helm's Deep. There were crossbows in Helm's Deep.
That's probably the most advanced technology they had. I know they had batistas and catapults and that, but I think the crossbow, in terms of projectile weaponry, was the most advanced.
They had them in Helm's Deep. The Orcs, the Uruk-hai had crossbows.
It's almost weird Tolkien didn't go for more modernised mechanization, given the First World War had machine guns and all that sort of thing. Some sort of like orc.
I think it was like medieval though that he wanted to, or I say medieval, yeah, that was the sort of...
I suppose if the Orcs had machine guns, it would have been really hard to justify how they won.
I think samurai. If anyone had a machine gun, if anyone had a machine gun...
Thing is,
can you imagine that shit? It's like, this was the sword of your father, but then they switch it. This was the AR-15 of your father.
I won't lie, Elrond has Aragorn. You can either have the sword of your father, or you can have this machine gun. I think Aragorn's gonna go for the machine gun.
You can have this belt-fed fucking...
I reforged the sword, but 17-inch rounds,
Yeah, what is it? It's like, I have reforged the bolt and the barrel of this, of your grandfather's vicar's machine gun.
Oh, I would have seen that. The mouth of Sauron comes out and he just mows it down.
Yeah, or just like one fucking dude at Helm's Deep, just like get a fucking 50 cal, just like...
I will always love the Olympic torch running orc at Helm's Deep.
Just fucking cut in half by a fucking 50 cal.
I saw a meme on the Facebook and it was like, I think it was at Helm's Deep, I think 2020, and they were like, 2021 is going to be great, and the orc, that was like 2021 and plastered across his chest, and he's the one running.
Yeah, you said that to me. And that's another thing, isn't it, in the film, is that it's like Legolas, he's this fucking sniper, until it comes to a fucking big ass orc that apparently he has to shoot 4 or 5
fucking torch.
Yeah, exactly. So he has to shoot like 4 or 5 times, but it doesn't matter because the plot.
Like, he doesn't even hide that flame or anything. He's like, yeah, motherfuckers!
Yeah, exactly.
Come at me, bro!
That's quite literally what he has.
You'd think they'd try and be like, yeah, we got things towards the bombs. We've stashed them all around the grate. I'm coming.
You feel that orc might have been like a Make-A-Wish, the kid that
It
needs
was.
to...
It was raining pretty hard that fight. How did that torch stay lit?
I mean, I remember watching it, and it was like sparking and stuff, like a Roman candle. I have no fucking clue.
Which, you know, orcs regularly love to.
Yeah, exactly. But you feel like that might have been like a Make-A-Wish, the kid orc that was gonna die soon, anyways.
That was the whole thing. Like, he lit it and he dies, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He had to like run it. He was a suicide bomber. Suicide bomber, mate. Fucking ISIS.
You gotta love those. The
ISIS orc.
Memoirs of a kamikaze orc is like first question. The reason I didn't die is, but you do get those. I actually read that as so I'm actually didacting from talks from Lord of the Rings here. Oh shit, we're nearly at an hour.
It's
15
alright.
seconds from it.
Oh no.
Holy fucking shit. Lord of the Rings is the best thing ever.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Of course not.
No. What were you saying? You were didacting about something about suicide bombers, I think.
Because there are actual books about Japanese kamikaze pilots who wrote books after the Second World War. It's like, wait, you're a kamikaze pilot?
You weren't a very good one then, were you?
But that's the thing. In actual history, a lot of kamikaze pilots there might have been reasons why they didn't fly. There was sort of a rule, like after, like, believe it or not, after the 4th or 5th time, if you didn't do it, you were shot. But you were given quite a few times to do it, like maybe because of weather or because of this and that, you might have to come back. But not everyone on their first fly was expected to do it.
Yeah.
But after like the 5th time, you were like,
you're like, come on, man.
You gotta die.
Yeah.
Imagine that orc with the thing came towards the mines and then ran back. It's like, I can't do it.
Like, oh no, mate, the weather's too bad. It's raining.
It's like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I've got nothing left.
I've got nothing left, Phil. Sorry, that was really bad. What I will say is that definitely those Lord of the Rings films are masterpieces of cinema.
How do you think, we're almost at the end here, how do you think those films influence cinema as a whole moving forward?
Oh, for sure. 100%.
In terms of maybe special effects and all that, everything in terms of cinema.
Oh, so much. It definitely, I mean, Star Wars can also be said for this as well. But this idea of having sequels and stuff to tell a bigger story, 100%. Those films definitely had an influence on it. And I think one of the things that is certainly to be said for Lord of the Rings is that when those films came out, there were no films like it. No. There was nothing like it, and so it was something that people gravitated towards because it wasn't like back in 2000 sort of 10 times when loads of horror movies were coming out, and there was like loads of horror movies, and so no one really knew the difference. If they got made
today, there'd be so much CGI.
There would.
I think if memory serves, like the Fell Beasts and Gollum was CGI, but so much what you saw was there.
And that's what I mean, we haven't really talked about The Hobbit, but the orcs in Lord of the Rings, that's real prosthetics, and they look so much scarier and grotesque.
And it looks so good, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I'm an old-fashioned guy, but CGI will never replace prosthetics.
To be fair, it doesn't need to replace, but I think a lot of directors don't realise it needs to work alongside prosthetics.
Yeah.
Again, the example of that is the original Jurassic Park and Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Where at sometimes, like when he's blending through the bars, that's CGI. But when he's blown apart, that was actually real.
Yeah, and I think
if the eye is seeing CGI for too long, it sees it.
Yeah, and I think also that CGI should be used for when you can't do something practically.
Like Gollum. Like, they couldn't actually get a crackhead to learn lines.
Yeah, and they couldn't actually CGI, tens of thousands of orcs and stuff like that. But the orc makeup in Lord of the Rings is fantastic, and it holds up to this day. Whereas if you look at The Hobbit, it's all CGI, and it's just not scary. It's not grotesque.
Especially when, if memory serves, it was like one of the antagonists was... Like, the leader was CGI himself, like the main bad guy.
Whereas you look at the orcs in Lord of the Rings...
was his name?
Oh, don't even know.
Thorin or something.
But it didn't even matter. Like in Lord of the Rings, it didn't even matter what the orc's name was. The fact that they looked scary, they were nasty, they were and they looked.
Find a halfling.
Yeah, exactly. They were so, like, just so nasty.
I don't know if you remember seeing them born when they're ripped out of the thing and they're thrashing and they get that white hand put on them.
Yeah,
Like, it looks so good.
Yeah, and it was all prosthetics and it was all real. And that's the thing. Humans know what real shit looks like. Humans also know what CGI. And now there is some great CGI out there where you can barely tell. But the way that Lord of the Rings did it, they just did it so well.
Even in cheesy films like the original Evil Dead, that was all done prosthetics. People tend to love seeing that shit.
Yeah.
Even if they know it's not real. I think people appreciate seeing effects done before their eyes. Like a magic trick.
Yeah, because it looks real. It's real.
Yeah.
It's actually happening on screen.
Even if it doesn't look perfect. I don't know why CGI gains so much popularity. Maybe it's cheaper. I don't know how...
It's easier to do.
But surely hiring a CGI artist is the same cost as hiring a prosthetics person. I'm guessing this, but I can't imagine the cost is that negligible when one looks so much better than the other.
I think it is with real prosthetics is that it's just more time consuming.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not sure how Thanos might have looked with prosthetics.
Yeah, I think it's more to do with the fact that it's time consuming and that if you're like a big Hollywood corporation where you have to pump these films out, you're going to take the quicker option versus...
And we both know The Hobbit's got pumped out.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
There's a reason no one really thinks about those, but we're still talking about Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, and everyone will talk about Lord of the Rings for years to come. It was a pinnacle of cinema.
Is Amazon still doing that TV series involving Lord of the Rings? I have no idea.
I have absolutely no clue. But it's things like one of the things. I mean, this is kind of similar to the whole process, is that, you know, in films, old school films, so not even old school films, so like Tarantino, someone gets shot, you have squibs where they blast blood out. And
blood packs and that.
Yeah, exactly. Versus CGI, blood hits, you can tell the difference, and it's just the real thing, you can just tell, and it looks better.
It's like you're never going to convince an audience that the actor just actually died, but they still appreciate seeing something that exists before their eyes.
Yeah.
We're not asking you to make us think you killed your actors. We just want you to respect us enough to appreciate the medium of pretend and reality merging.
And again, it's like seeing a big blood splatter and blood spurt that's actually there. Yeah, I mean, Django Unchained, the Candyland shootout. Yeah, you know, like people know when it's real and people know when it's not.
A lot of horror films, like the old Nightmare on Elm Street, and that used to do so much prosthetic stuff and effects and stuff. Yeah, so good.
But again, Lord of the Rings, it was a pinnacle of cinema, and it will be for years to come.
I'm pretty sure the mouth of Sauron was pretty CGI, wasn't it? Or...
Oh, was it? I don't know. It might have been prosthetic as well. If it was CGI,
if so, it looks good.
If it was CGI, then fucking props to the team that did that. But there are some things where you can tell it's CGI.
Before we go, I'll let you tell this story. In the extended edition, obviously, Grima Wormtongue kills Saruman, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Now, do you want to tell the story about the director describing to Christopher Lee on how to die?
Right. I feel like I need to do justice to Christopher Lee, because this dude was honestly a fucking real hardcore badass. This dude hunted Nazis.
Special forces.
Yeah. Special forces, hunted, interrogated Nazis. Serious fucking hardcore guy. And then, again, cast for the role of Saruman. And there's a scene in the extended edition where Grima Wormtongue stabs Saruman in the back. And Peter Jackson, the director, he came up to Christopher Lee and said, hey, look, so he's going to stab you in the back. Can you sort of make a noise that sounds like what it sounds like for someone to get stabbed? And he said, I don't need to. I know what it sounds like. because
and he knew like a person doesn't scream with them and stab; they actually lose their breath and they go.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it gets all pushed out of them.
Yeah, exactly. Because Christopher Lee was a fucking hardcore fucking guy, and had such an extraordinary life. You guys just need to look up his life. I cannot do his justice. I cannot do his life justice. He had a fucking mental life, but this dude fucking was a hardcore guy, and someone just cannot describe
I think that's a great...
how much of a life that this dude had.
That is I think that's the most funnest fact to close on, sort of thing. Like, again, Christopher Lee as Saruman was absolutely awesome.
Yeah. One of those things where you could not, a bit like, Alan Rickman in Harry Potter, you could not cast someone else to do that role.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe Charles Dance. He's very Christopher Lee-like, isn't he? Charles Dance, Tywin Lannister.
Yeah.
I think don't get me wrong, Christopher Lee, love you, irreplaceable. I think Charles Dance is very like him, though, in terms of likeness.
Sort of thing, yeah. Maybe Charles Dance.
He's a good actor.
He is a good actor, yeah, for sure.
Anyway, though, so this has been... If you have let us know in the comments your favourite moments in Lord of the Rings, your favourite part... and all that sort of thing. And again, any Lord of the Rings questions, feel free to post us. We will answer them with your name in the comments.
Yes. And we'll most probably do another Lord of the Rings episode, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Again, Rob mentioned earlier in the episode, we are going to eventually attack the Hobbit trilogy.
Yes. Peter Jackson, we love you, but if you put something out in the public eye, then you are worthy of criticism.
And don't make Avatar 2. No one cares.
Yeah.
Honestly, no one cares.
That's not Peter Jackson. That's fucking, what's his name?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Dude, no. Dude Maydew. Who did
No,
Titanic.
You're right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was absolutely wrong there.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
Not that we remember what that guy's name is. But anyway, this has been... what's our podcast called again?
I can't remember. I think it's